Welcome to the Southeast Alaska Discovery Center's Friday Night Insight. We have Miss Leslie Jackson that will be speaking tonight on about. Well, I know that part, but what was businesses, small businesses getting started here in Southeast Alaska. She's going to be a good one, so keep your ears open.
No, thanks.
Thank you guys for coming in and joining us. I hope you enjoy the presentation this afternoon. And here's Miss Jackson.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm just going to put this back on there. Good evening. My name's Leslie Jackson. I live here in Ketchikan, and Cape Fox Corporation asked me to come tonight, asked someone from Spruce Root to come and just present a little bit about our organization and what we do here in Southeast Alaska. So welcome. Thanks for braving the roads to be with us tonight. So I'm just going to take you through a journey of our mission, our vision, and impact in Southeast Alaska. So we are headquartered in Juneau. We also have an office in Sitka, but we work all over the region. We're an Indigenous-led nonprofit and Native CDFI. And so we believe that the community benefits from strong locally owned businesses that contribute to the local economy. And so that is part of our mission and vision and values. Our vision is we amplify our Haida, Tlingit and Tsimshian ancestral imperative to ensure Southeast Alaska thrives for future generations. Our mission is we're a driver of a regenerative economy across Southeast Alaska so communities can forge futures grounded in this uniquely Indigenous place. And then our values, we have balance, reciprocity, Native knowledge, Indigenous stewardship, progress over perfection, which is my favorite one, and learning at the speed of trust, equity, and abundance. And so as a nonprofit, these are our vision and mission for Southeast Alaska region as a whole. And so we hope for the future and for future generations that we achieve the work that we do. And we recognize we must look back to look forward, and our history guides us to our next future. So a little bit about our journey. We were founded in 2012 as a startup from Sealaska. So we were under the Sealaska umbrella to support sustainable economic development in our region. And in 2015, we expanded our loan fund. We became an emerging CDFI, and that's a community development financial institution. And we spent our early years just trying to raise capital to lend out. And by 2016, we had about 8 loans in our portfolio and $5 million in lending capital. And so community development financial institutions, or CDFIs, are similar to a bank in that we lend money, but we often work with typically underserved communities, and we offer technical assistance, which makes us a little bit different than a bank. And we generally just work with people to get to ready to take on lending capital, and we do that through technical assistance. So 2017, we changed our name to Spruce Root. We were called Ha-Ani through Sealaska. And so we became our own nonprofit, and we had to establish our own governance and staffing and the resources necessary to operate as an autonomous entity. And so we became a certified Native CDFI through the Treasury Department. And let's see, that was in 2018. And then 2018, we also formed the Sustainable Southeast Partnership to strengthen regional collaboration across the region. And I'll get into a little bit more about the SSP later. 2021, started the Seacoast Trust, which is an endowment-like trust for the region to align capital with our Indigenous values and environmental stewardship. And eventually, the goal is to fund the work of the SSP in perpetuity so that we don't have to seek grant funding from our federal partners and foundations and corporations, but rather we have a sustainable source of funds for the region to fund our work. So that is the point of the Seacoast Trust. In 2024, we revised our strategic plan, and that's a 5-year strategic plan to guide the growth of the organization and the impact that we would like to have. And so out of that, we came up with 4 main goals: Indigenous-led economic innovation. We want to strengthen our regional partnerships and build relationships and networks to support collaboration. We want to catalyze sustainable investment in our communities, attract investment to support economic growth in our region, and accountability and action. That's kind of a new one that we have in this plan, but commit to transparency and accountability. So these are kind of our guiding, overarching goals for our vision of the organization. And just a little bit about the process. The Spruce Root Board of Directors and staff and many of the collaborators around the region began the process to build our plan over many meetings and activities in 2024 and 2025. And so the board completed a SWOT analysis. We had many phone calls, reviewed client surveys. We completed a theory of change and drafted all the goals. And then we had this Spruce Root Board of Directors meet in person and virtually to provide feedback, and came up with insights from all of our collaborators in the region. And then we ratified the strategic plan at the end of last year. We are proud to say we have 100% Indigenous-led board of directors. And so we're happy to have people on the board from all walks of life: business owners, community organizers, tribal administrators, former tribal administrators. Anthony Malott was CEO of Sealaska. Joe Nelson is actually still on and employed with Sealaska. And so we have 2 Sealaska shareholders, and then we have people, Tlingit, Haida, Tsimshian members who guide our strategic direction and mission. This is some of our team. I think a couple of people may have got cut off, but now we're a team of 25, which is really exciting. We've grown by leaps and bounds over the last actually probably about 4 or 5 years. And so we are a staff that work in workforce development, community facilitation. We have technical assistance providers on staff, a lending director, and we provide financial wellness programming, business coaching, and community development support all over the region. And we have, like I said, an office in Juneau, an office in Sitka, and then I live here in Ketchikan. We have people in Wrangell and on Prince of Wales Island and Haines, so spread across the region. And so we have 4 main programs of our work, and this is how we catalyze our regenerative economy through integrated lending, business support, and community partnership programs. So we have our loan division, we have our technical assistants, our business and client services, people that are actually providing one-on-one coaching to clients and getting them ready to take loans if they're not yet loan ready. We have our Sustainable Southeast Partnership and our Seacoast Trust. And so I'll talk about those a little bit more. So our CDFI and loan services is how we provide small businesses with capital for existing and startup financing needs. We provide affordable loans to people that are typically unable to get funding from a mainstream bank, and technical expertise to help clients succeed. And so that's kind of what sets us apart from a traditional bank, is that we do have technical assistance in the form of one-on-one coaching. We have different cohorts of technical services offerings throughout the year. We recently had a fishing and finance session that we did, and we provide virtual and in-person workshops. But as far as the CDFI and loan services, We recently became an SBA micro lender, the first one in the state of Alaska, so that's been really exciting. We have a micro loan offering, which is $50,000 and less, and that's a great way to start a business with a SBA micro loan. And then we have our Fast Start loan product that helps early stage entrepreneurs launch their ventures with support. And then recently we've partnered with the Coalition for Green Capital, and we've started the first energy bank in the state with their support, where we're trying to pioneer clean energy projects such as mariculture, so oyster farms, kelp farms. We're talking about electrifying vessels and vehicles and projects of that nature. And this will help us align economic development with environmental stewardship. And so we're excited to launch. We have a new Tongass Energy Bank director, so that's been really exciting for us to get that up and running. So business and client services. You may have heard of the business competition that we have each year. It's called the Path to Prosperity Business Competition, which is a kind of an intensive training with, again, a cohort of selected business owners that want to go through this competition with other people that are kind of in the same boat as them. And so it's a intensive kind of way to get people together to think about taking a business from the start to the finish. And so in the end, there's an award for the winner of the competition. And so recently, this year, we're branching out and partnering with Alaska Growth Capital to kind of expand the reach of the Path to Prosperity into other parts of Alaska. And so we're excited to launch that. And we're going to be basically announcing the competition winners in April at the Alaska Impact Days event in Anchorage. So we're hoping this will help businesses expand and form stronger connections. So we also have the Resilient Circles cohort that's on its second year. It's a year-long holistic program supporting Indigenous entrepreneurs. So it's specifically geared towards Indigenous business owners. And it's a year-long, another intensive cohort of people that stay together for 1 year and build skills, personal healing, and leadership growth. They have practitioners that are also Indigenous business owners and healers that are helping them on this journey for 1 year. And then they actually have 3 in-person retreats throughout the year. There's 10 entrepreneurs and an intergenerational and resilience framework that guides that cohort. So we have business coaching. We have financial wellness, which is workshops just geared to coaching on budgeting and credit building and financial planning across the region. And like I said, we have the financial wellness for fisheries. That was a new one this year. And so there's actually one coming up at the end of the month. So I think there's a selection of people that are taking that course next week. And then we have our workforce development. We have career coaching, soft skills development, work readiness training, and technical education, supporting people's career goals, along their journey on their career. So have the community planning and facilitation. And so we're there to facilitate any kind of gatherings that might happen. There was one in Sitka as they're grappling with the cruise ship increases in passengers that are coming into their community. So we facilitated that a while back. We had worked with the Forest Service on their revision plan and entered into this transformative scenarios process where we talked about outcomes and anticipation of futures for Southeast Alaska and what that could look like. Strategic planning, we've done that in Yakutat, and comprehensive community and implementation plans. and just different types of community engagement, working with different groups across the region. We also do facilitation coaching, event planning, project management support, meetings, and multi-day workshops. The Sustainable Southeast Partnership is our network of business owners and organizations and tribal partners across the region that get together to work on systems change, do planning and facilitation, and we align partners around shared regional priorities. And it's something that we organize convenings twice a year. We have a big one in April coming up. That's our largest convening of the SSP, where we all get together and just talk about different issues that are happening in the community and ways to solve those issues together. Spruce Root is the backbone organization, meaning that we employ the director and the deputy director. We also give out grants to our catalysts. And so we have community catalysts and we have regional catalysts with the SSP, and those are essentially our ambassadors in community that are working on specific community issues. We have catalysts in Huna and Sitka. We have catalysts that are working on tourism in Angoon. And so then we have our regional catalysts as well. But this is just a picture of Yakutat Culture Camp. We have our Alaska Youth Stewards catalyst that helps youth engage with trail building and habitat restoration across the region. We have a large greenhouse project that we supported with the Huna Catalyst. And then we have a lot of work that we do just with habitat restoration in general. And so these are just some photos of various projects. And so we also meet once a month with all the different catalysts in the region and facilitate a virtual hangout where we get together and people present ideas or solutions. We have shared values that we talk about together, and we have many different regional catalysts. One is the energy catalyst. We have someone working that is partnered with the host organization, Renewable Energy Alaska Project. And so they're working on various energy projects across the region. And so it's exciting because Spruce Root can actually leverage funding by we offer them a grant, the host organization, and they will match the grant with funding from their organization. So it's a shared partnership to employ people around the region. And so we have 15 SSP catalysts. We have 16 communities that are connected this way and 150 different partners that belong to the SSP and 80 region-wide projects. And so these are our SSP areas of focus: abundant lands and waters, food sovereignty, localized economy, energy independence, and cultural vitality. And then also we have a new regenerative tourist catalyst that has recently come on that'll be housed in Sitka. We also have our Seacoast Trust. This is our Indigenous-led investment vehicle building long-term financial sovereignty for Southeast Alaska, funding the SSP. So currently our portfolio is $30.9 million at the end of 2025. And our goal ultimately is to get to 100 million so we can fund this work for hundreds of years. And actually from the interest that we gain from the Seacoast Trust and the investment that we have set up, we have had our first ever distribution in 2025 of $450,000 supporting catalysts and community projects across the region. So that has been able to fund specific smaller projects and to fund the work of the community catalysts. And so we're forging a path toward generational abundance. That is something that we talk about a lot at Spruce Root, rooted in the wisdom and values of our Indigenous peoples. And so this is not a one-time thing, but something that we want to fund in perpetuity. And so I can't forget the administration operations program at Spruce Root. That's the program that I'm part of. I'm the grants manager for Spruce Root, so I'm trying to go after grants to fund the organization, as well as I'm managing the grants that we have currently. And also in our administration operations program, we have our deputy director, our director, finance director, and our human resources person. So we kind of hover over all the different programs at Spruce Root, and we're making it possible to power every program. So we're not focused on one, but we're just working on financial stewardship, organizational systems, and governance and accountability. So helping the board of directors as well. And so we are partnering with KIC. Next month, we have our first workshop taking place in March. And so this is our financial wellness and business basics workshop. We're excited to work with KIC for the first time. And that will be an in-person workshop. KIC members are eligible to attend. And so we'll have a couple people from Spruce Root coming here to Ketchikan to help put this on in partnership with the KIC staff. And so we're also working with TFCU, or Tongass Federal Credit Union, on this project. And so this is workshops for their, just to get members ready to start small businesses. So business planning, doing some coaching, and just understanding what needs KIC has here in Ketchikan. I'll just say that is March 21st and 22nd from 9 to 4, and that's at the Ketchikan Indian community. And here's our contact information. It's most helpful if you give us a call, and then we can point you in the right direction. We have an awesome intake specialist, Ashley Guthrie, and she is willing to hear what your needs are and point you in the right direction if you're wanting to start a small business, or if you want to receive just coaching, if you're thinking about business needs or just a specific business issue that you're having. We do have a business coach on staff, Andrew Jelka, and she could put you in touch with him. If you're interested in an organization receiving strategic planning assistance, we could point you in that direction. And again, I'm here in Ketchikan if you need to contact me, but the best way is just the phone or the website, and we can get you in touch with the right person to talk to.